I've been playing League of Legends the normal way, and I'm tired of not being challenger. And so I think it's finally time that I join the dark side. Meet Dopa, the pioneer of the dark side, who abuses underhand tactics to reach rank 1 on multiple servers, and holds the ability to predict a victory at 1 minute and 30 seconds.
습관적으로 라인에 오자마자 미니언한테 평타 한 대를 치는데
I'm gonna learn about all of the underhand techniques that Dopa uses to win, and then apply it to my game so I can finally get challenger. So I started checking out some of his VODs and videos that other people made on him. It turns out he's a Twisted Fate main. I guess I am now too. Eventually, I ran across this 1 hour long video made by Dopa himself that revealed all of his secret underhand and cheat tricks. And I'm gonna put a few of them to the test. Alright, first cheat. Dopa promises that this makes Twisted Fate the most impactful player in the game for a certain time. I don't know how true this is. We're just gonna find out. Okay, so to make this happen, he tells us to run minion dematerializer, and I'll show you the rest as the link goes on. Okay, now I have minion dematerializer. Now he tells us to use it on the backline minions, like this. If you don't know what minion dematerializer does, essentially you just do more damage to the type of minion that you dematerialized. And you'll see how that plays into the cheat later on. Okay, and he tells us to recall right before hitting level 6, and then here's what happens. So the reason we recall right before 6 is so we can get full HP and some items before hitting level 6, and then as soon as we hit level 6, we start killing everyone while everyone is level 5. Dude, insane cheat, insane. That was really scuffed, but I think I got the point down. Alright, and to connect it back all together, the minion dematerializer gives me more damage to the backline minions so I can clear it faster, in 2 Qs instead of 3. And this means I can get a recall off faster than my opponent, and therefore get to base faster. Look where I am, and look where my opponent is. He's still in base while I'm already on the map, level 6. And so when I choose to TP here, my laner is nowhere to be seen. The cheat that I just performed is what Dopa calls a concept. Fundamental actions that earn you huge advantages. Dopa has outlined several Twisted Fate specific concepts, and instead of performing them blankly like I just did to play like Dopa, I'll explore those next ones in a unique way. I think the best way for me, and I guess you too, to play like Dopa is not by performing the exact plays he makes, but by learning how to think like Dopa. How does Dopa see the world of League of Legends differently from an average player? And how does he manipulate this to win games consistently up to rank 1? And as a side quest, I also want to learn his ability to predict when a game is over at 1 minute and 30 seconds. How do you do it, Dopa? Okay, I just got back from reading Dopa's hour-long video translation, and he reveals us about his entire worldview, and through that, I believe it can explain every single one of his actions in-game. So I really do think that if I can maybe adopt this worldview, then I can finally play like Dopa. Oh yeah, and also be a challenger. Here's how Dopa sees the world of League of Legends. Attention is limited. How well you perform certain actions depends on how much attention you allocate. Dopa provides an example where you can allocate 100% of your attention into trading and become the best laner ever, but will ultimately lose because you didn't pay attention to the jungler. This certainly was the case for me when I attempted the level 5 cheat for the first time. I hyper-focused on trying to execute the cheat that I did not acknowledge the jungler, who was on vision for at least 2 seconds, and I still walked in this direction. What the hell, man? Now, he didn't specify exactly what you can do to apply this to your game, and so there's multiple interpretations that I had of this. My first was that if I allocate, let's say, 5% of my attention on each task, then my performance collectively would be ass, like a silver player. So clearly, I don't think that's what he's trying to say. And so this leads to me to my second interpretation. He's telling us to save attention for the decision making and then make everything else automatic. I believe this because he advocates for players that main only 1 or 2 champions because they have full mastery of their champion and can play their champion on autopilot and funnel everything into other parts of the game that are more important, like decision making, so that they can make the best decisions. Therefore, I think what we need to do is exactly that. Save attention for decision making, make everything else automatic. So how can we best preserve our attention? Well, the easiest way to do it is to learn your champion. You don't even have to think about your trades, your farming, your mechanics. I guess this is why Twisted Fate is Dopa's champion of choice, there's less thinking mechanically than if you were to play Irelia. Alright, let's learn Twisted Fate. Okay, so what I'm doing now is practicing Twisted Fate's CS mechanics on his auto attack so that I don't even have to think about CSing. Best way to put it is I'm attacking, but I'm looking somewhere else. I'm CSing, but I'm looking at the jungler and seeing where they are. That's that kind of thing. This reminds me of that one clip of Faker multitasking.
They are trading for this base.
Another thing I'm also practicing on is the trajectory of Twisted Fate's Q and how to use the sides and how to angle it so that I can get the most damage with the weirdest angles ever. Alright, I'll just practice this every day then. Another way Dopa takes his attention preservation to another level is what he does in real life. He tries to put everything perfectly so that there's less distractions as possible. For example, his desk setup. Like, he has his monitor exactly 47.3 centimeters away from the edge of the desk. His chair in the same position, guided by a piece of tape on the floor. Insane. Now, what's also insane is that this is not even a picture of his setup. I just got this online. And for me, adopting this cheat, I have put my monitor about a ruler and a half away from the edge of the desk. For my mouse, it just has to be connected. Alright, so my attention is now all freed up. I learned my champion. I've played Twisted Fate for at least a week now. And I've also optimized my real life setup. What do I do with all this attention now? Well, that's kind of it. He doesn't really give us anything more, so if you're not gonna tell me, fine. I'll do my own digging. I just watched a few of his VODs and noted how Dopa makes some of his important decisions and even how he can predict a victory at Women in 30. And I think listing them is hard to understand, such a god like Dopa. So I believe a better way to show how Dopa plays is by playing like Dopa myself. Alright. Dopa, he's putting a very high standard on me. That's because the first thing he does is always plans his minion wave before it even happens. Interesting, right? So I guess I'll start doing that. Against Yone, his level 3 all-in is insane, so if I ever am near his tower, I'm dead. So by level 3, the best way to survive that is to have a big stack of a wave. Other than that, we'll figure it out. But that's my only... That's how far into the future I can see. And while he's CSing, he's also looking at other parts of the map, and he's planning ahead. Remember? I'm gonna freeze this. I didn't get a push off, but I did chunk a lot of his HP, and so it's a worth trade. And even here, he's kind of stuck. Even though I didn't get the planned third wave near his tower, I traded it for poking him and freezing it near my tower, so he has to walk up and be at risk for a gank. So it's still fine. One thing that I noticed in Dopa is that CS is his #1 priority. Like, you could see him drop a fat 10 kills and he still have a perfect 10 CS a minute. Like, damn, bro! Now, this here, I'm trying to freeze this so that he has to walk up and lose a lot of stuff, potentially get ganked. Now this Yone is in a really bad position because I'm gonna build this wave and then crash it, and he'll lose it all if he doesn't recall. Oh, he's actually disrespecting me. So this is actually terrible for him. That's my bad there. I didn't calculate Shaco being there, but we did make him lose a wave. Now I'm analyzing the game state here. It looks like 4 of our kills are on Kindred, and so whatever Kindred does, I want to follow with her. I'm gonna take this mid wave and then perhaps go bot. I think I'll go bot now. I think I'll drop the wave for this. Not bad. An interesting principle of Dopas that applies here is that you should play consistently yourself, making no mistakes, while you punish the enemy's mistakes. Not bad. That play was very interesting because that's exactly what Dopa was talking about. Even though he has his own rules of playing the game, he doesn't always follow it because each game is different. Now, would you get the fuck off? Each game is different, and he sometimes breaks his own rules according to the game state. That was one of the examples where I broke the rule of farming minions, you know, CS #1 priority, in order to get a better opportunity of 2 or 3 kills on bot lane. One wave versus 2 or 3 kills. Which one? I don't like this wave state. I gotta build more minions. Exactly like that. Jesus. I wasn't even at my tower, or I wasn't even at his tower, and he did that to me. Insane. I can't ever kill Yone. So I think the play for me, the win con for me, is to apply pressure elsewhere. Like, this guy takes no fucking damage. I'll just shove lane and don't play. So yeah, here I am, adapting. Did you see how I identified that I couldn't win lane anymore because it's Yone, and I can't kill him as Twisted Fate, and so I have to adapt and change my point to win the game. That's another one of Dopa's ideals. He says that if you want to improve in League of Legends, you always have to be constantly adapting. I just applied that principle in a micro level in game instead of, you know, out of game. Okay, so my playstyle now is just to shove lanes and then go somewhere else, man. Fuck this Yone. I think I'll go bot next. Bro, Shaco didn't die. Alright, now we're moving on to the mid game here. And this is where the macro of Dopa really comes in. Everything else has been, you know, just like, oh shit. I have noticed a few patterns of his split pushing, and I'll tell you them once I get to the lanes. Once I stop dying! Okay, split pushing time. Where's Shaco? Up there? It seems Camille and everyone else? Okay. Alright, split pushing time. The question is, do I join my team, or do I continue split pushing a tower? Actually, I can't make a decision because I have no vision. Alright, that's number one. If you have no information, you can't make a calculated decision, and therefore, it's a bad mistake if you carry the decision out. Okay? That's one. And two is the game's over. Alright, well. Yep, and that's how you play at about 25% of Dopa plays. Look, I don't know how Dopa does it, but props to him. He is amazingly good.